know. If you just saw me on another live, it was me. But I was being silent. It's an interesting thing to do, be silent, I've got to say. Enjoy the Silence is one of my favourite songs, actually. I think it was originally by Depeche, something like that. But then it's been remixed lots of times. But the best remix I've ever heard, and why I love it, is by Sasha and John Digweed. Oh, I think they're European DJs. I think Sasha, I don't know actually, they're European anyway. But oh my gosh, the combination of those two DJs and remixing Enjoy the Silence, you've got to hear it. If you Google, put on YouTube, Enjoy the Silence, Sasha and John Digweed, and that song will come up. And it's just a video, and it's just amazing. I wish I could play it for you, but obviously I'd get copyright, so. But anyway. Hey, Debbie Sue, I'm back. And I'm talking. How did you like that one this morning? I enjoyed that, actually. I really enjoyed it. It's really interesting. Have you ever heard of walking meditation? I wasn't really doing a walking meditation. Walking meditation, if you've ever heard of it, is really, really slow walking, like really slow walking, and you feel every step. But I was using that meditation, so to speak, in today's Silent Live. Basically, you loved it. That's great. I'm glad because, you know, it's good to give back. And I guess, you know, you guys said that, you know, you like the sound of the ocean, and yeah, sometimes it's good not to hear my voice, right? Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Paul. I think you really enjoyed me not talking. I think that. I know that. But, you know, it's not going to happen very often. You know that. So it's a treat, right? It's a treat. But I really wanted to come back, and I can play you some more, right? I've got him right in front of me. Whoops, I've got him right in front of me. So people just watching this on a replay will be like, what the hell is this? It's so cool. I love it. It's called a steel drum. It's actually called a steel tongue drum because of the tongues, all right? But I bought this little guy. The brand is called KU. It makes the beautifulest sound. Like, you get two little sticks. If you hit in the middle, it doesn't do anything, right? The sound is through these little tongues. So good. Like, I really enjoy doing it. Like, you enjoy hearing it, I enjoy playing it. And playing it next to the ocean, barefoot, is just beautiful, guys. I can't tell you, in the sun, in the morning sun. And look, I'm putting the seagulls asleep too with my music. What else could I ask for, right? I've got some beautiful water in bottles next to me so I can nourish my body. I've just been for a beautiful walk, a silent walk. I'm surrounded by friends. And I really wanted to talk about self-care, because this is what I'm just doing right now, a bit of self-care and reflection. Now, I can't see the chat again. I don't know. The sun is coming straight at me. So let me just turn this around because I know I'm looking very, very cross-eyed. So I'm looking at the chat here, guys, because obviously before I couldn't really look at the chat that much. We love the steel drum. Yeah, Debbie Sue and Paul, I know you guys love it, don't you? It's so beautiful. So I'll get back to the steel drum in a second, guys. I want to get on track. I wanted to talk to you about oh, right. So you hear that in the streets in Bali. Wow. You see, I haven't been into Bali for like at least 15 years. So that sound to me doesn't remind me of Bali. Interesting, hey? You know what sound reminds me of Bali? The motorbikes running past you all the time, driving past. And the ocean. I can hear the ocean, like The last time I stayed in Bali, I stayed at the Hard Rock Cafe Resort. Not my normal kind of place to stay, right? I'm going to be honest, but I was going with 3 other friends. One of my backpacking friends, she wasn't into it either, but my 2 other friends are first-class travellers. So we had to stay at a resort, right? They won that toss. Well, they were never, ever going to stay in a backpacker hostel. Trust me, they would never, ever. And both of them have never since ever stayed in a backpacker hostel. But myself and my friend that loves backpacking, we both have continually travelled because we're backpacked, right? And stayed in cheap places. Like Paul says, you don't need to stay on the front street of Kuta in Bali, right? You can stay a couple of streets back in Legian, and he's staying in 10 days and it's costing him like $600, which is like 300 American dollars. It's really cheap for 10 days accommodation. I think it's even breakfast, which is amazing. So looking forward to seeing that accommodation and staying there, because that's kind of my style of accommodation. I don't need to stay on the beach and have a first class pillow. But my memory of staying in Bali, my last memory, because I've stayed there, I've been to Bali a couple of times, maybe 4 or 5 times now. Nothing like 20 like Paul, but it's not a competition, right? But yeah, I remember the beach, just the sound of the ocean, lapping, just like this. It's beautiful. So guys, I really wanted to talk to you today. About a bit of reflection I've had in the last couple of days. So obviously, coming out of 75 hard, my sense of myself, my sense of my thoughts, my sense of just awareness, I guess, my awareness of my thinking and my actions are a lot heightened. I mean, I think I was aware before, but I think with all the reading that I've done and just, the last 75 days, so to speak, a lot of soul searching has been done. And I don't think that was the reason to do the 75 hard, but if that was the outcome, it's been amazing, right? And I talked on a couple of lives ago about one of my best friends and her partner being in a bit of crisis at the moment with his mental health. And to add to that, their dog has just been diagnosed with a very, very bad cancer, and that he's going to die. And that dog is his pride and joy, right? He's never had children before, so his dog is his everything, right? So this is going to be very hard on his mental health, right? And we were worried about, him getting some help, because he's denied any help the whole long, he's been suffering mental health for a while. So anyway, realization through the week that he has gone to ask for some support, which is amazing. He's going to have an appointment on Tuesday with a psychiatrist and start the process, which is a really, really good thing. He's asked for some more time off from his work. Now, his work has suffered because of his mental health, so we're a bit worried about that. But, sometimes you just have to surrender, you have to do these things, like, going to work when you're in mental, crisis, and then obviously your dog's about to die would not be healthy, right? It's just, things, like, I know money's important, but sometimes your mental health is really important, right? So to surrender to it, and there isn't much you can do, right? So they're put in another block of holidays. And yesterday afternoon, they went to the vet to get some stitches out of the dog that's about to die, and, get some advice on, what to look for, when is the right time, to put the dog down, because obviously you don't want the dog in pain. It's a giant Labrador. It's a chocolate Labrador. Labradors are beautiful dogs, right? I used to have one. And chocolate ones they're very rare to have a chocolate Labrador. So it's just a beautiful animal. Zeppy, his name is Zeppy. Anyway, Zeppy has had a lot of love. He's about 9 years old. So in Labrador years, they don't live that long. So 9 years is a good innings anyway. But for someone that, loves a dog, 9 years is not a long time. You want the dog to live forever. So the news, obviously, from the vet is that, he is definitely going to die. They took the stitches out. Everything's all right. The dog got his spleen taken out, and that's where they discovered that he has major cancer all through his body. And basically, now it's just basically palliative care, so to speak. And basically they said, you need to observe the dog, and the dog will go down quite fast when it happens. The apparently to look for is the colour of his mouth changes. It goes grey, apparently. So when that happens, they know that it's time to put the dog down. So I told my friend yesterday about my dog, my dad's dog actually, Raji, and I then inherited him after my dad died. And then I had 5 years with Raji, Diego and I, and we loved Raji very much. And we had to put Raji down, and we chose to have him euthanized at home. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing to do, to have the dog at home in our house, and have him put down in the house with us. And it was a beautiful thing. And I was telling my friend Mel about it yesterday, and she said, okay, that sounds like a really good plan. So she's asking me to find the number for that organisation. So I will find that for her today. But I wanted to tell you about, isn't it interesting how life is like, you have births at one end and you have death at the other end. And I know we're talking about a dog, but this is in life in general. Animals, humans, we are all we're not the same, but at the same time, we love just the same, right? A love for a dog can be a love for a partner. It's, perspective, right? But my friend Mel, just timing of everything, she's obviously very worried about her partner with his mental health, and obviously the dog, not doing well. But she had planned to go down this weekend to Melbourne. Her parents, her mum and dad, are already down in Melbourne because this is planned. This weekend she was going to go down. So Mel has become a grandmother for the second time. Mel is only 50. I think we're very young to be grandparents. I mean, I'm not a grandparent. I'm never going to be a grandparent, but she's very young to be a grandparent, I think. But it is what it is. I look at her and I don't think she's, old. But gain perspective, eh? And she's just had her second grandchild. And her her mother and dad are going down to see their grandchild and their great-grandchild for the first time. I mean, their grandchild they've seen, but obviously their great-grandchildren they've never seen before. So they're going down to have some time with the two babies. And Mel's going down too, because it's like her little family. It's not, her partner is not the father of the child or the grandparents. He's a new partner. She was married previously, but her son lives in Melbourne, and the two grandchildren and his partner and the grandparents have gone down there. So it's a very beautiful weekend, right? And I don't know if you see the circle here, but I think you'll get it, that, their dog up here in Australia or in Queensland, is probably going to pass away in the next couple of weeks. And, this weekend is going to be a beautiful weekend. When dogs are, at the end of their life, you can pretty much give them anything other than chocolate. Give them all the treats that you try not to give them because you don't want them to get fat, right? So Zeppy's going to have his best life, right? And this weekend, Mel's going down there to be with her family, her little family, her parents, her son, her two grandbabies, her son's partner, and it's just a beautiful, circle of life. And I said that to her in a message this morning. I said, it's a very bittersweet, and I pained, and I had this cry, I had some tears in my eyes, and I have tears in my eyes now. It's because it's a beautiful feeling, to have that reflection of not of my own life, of someone else's life. And I think that's really important for me personally, is that I think that I'm very into myself a lot. I mean, I think it's, it's good to be into yourself. I do love myself. But the fact that I can put myself in someone else's shoes and see the beauty in the pain and the love, I think that's really beautiful. And I think that just shows some growth in me that, I mean, I'm not saying that I haven't had that before, but especially in the last 75 days, I have, it's been chaotic in my life. To get that 75 hard done, and I would not have picked up on anything, right? And just to be able to feel the love from my friend, she sent me she sent me a video this morning of her first grandchild. He's on a swing and he's laughing, he's doing this giggle that little kids do, right? And it was beautiful to see. And I just said to Mel, I said, I'll check on your partner this weekend and Zeppy. She asked me to do that, and of course I will. And I said, just go enjoy your family this weekend. I said, I know you're worried about Phil, but I said, just surrender, live in now. I reminded her about The Power of Now, that book. A couple of weeks ago we went to Ricky Martin together, and I was telling her about my book I read, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. You know, he's a massive guru in some people's eyes, and he is a guru. And he talks about how you've only got now. You can't go back. Like, Zeppi's had a good life. You can't go back and say, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, I shouldn't have fed him that, he shouldn't have got so fat. You know, he could have lived forever. He's never going to live forever, right? And, you know, you can worry about the future, like, oh my gosh, Zeppi's going to die, Zeppi's going to die, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to live without him? But that is taking away from now. Enjoy now. At this moment, you've got this Zeppi. He's beautiful. He's a beautiful chocolate lab. He's so happy, even though he doesn't know what's going to happen, you know? So it was such a beautiful reflection that those books, those readings, all the books I've read brings me to this point, right? And I don't even know who's watching right now and who's even listening. And it doesn't matter who's listening, because I get to watch this back one day and just see the reflection, and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And to share this moment with myself, to give myself a bit of self-care by sitting on the beach, feet in the sand, I mean, barefoot in the sand. You can't get much more grounded than that, guys. I don't know. If you don't have sand, you can go out and play in, you know, grass. Grass is the same feeling, right? Feet barefoot in grass is just a beautiful feeling. I'm not sure if barefoot in snow is the same feeling. It's probably like hypothermia feeling. You know, you end up with your toes frostbited. And then to hear the ocean is just, you know, and me not talking on that silent live and me not having to talk. Honestly, it was beautiful. And then, you know, getting to drink some water. I can't tell you how much I love water now. I mean, I loved water before, but I really appreciate water now because I can see how much water does for my body. It's amazing. And the sounds of the ocean and just the sounds of the steel drum are just amazing, right? And just the act of playing, you know, I'm playing, right? I'm playing music. It's so good for my soul. You guys hear the sound, but I feel the sound through my body. So I don't know who's there, but can I ask you, do you like the sounds like this? That's A. So do you like A? Very quiet. Okay, that's A. Or do you like B? Well, there's an option is C, which is a combination of both. I'd love to know. I was just making sure that my mic was on. Then I thought, geez, imagine if my mic was off. Wouldn't that have been funny? I've been talking to myself the whole time. So yeah, I'd love to know. A, just really quietness on the steel drum. B, going at it, boom, 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 or C, a combination of both? Love to know your thoughts. A, B, or C? I can't really see very well. Okay, so we've got, I think Debbie Sue's saying A. No. Someone's saying B. Someone's saying A. Someone's saying the combo. I'd love to know what you think my favourite is. Do you think mine's A, B, or C? So you think mine's B, Debbie Sue? Actually, just then, by actually thinking about it, I actually think combination C was my favourite. But I think my go-to was definitely B. I like the harder sound. Just the sound. I think the rhythm of it, I just really like the rhythm of it. I think that, yeah. But the combination of the two together is actually not bad. I guess it's a little bit like reflective of life. You can't have the good and you can't have the bad. You've got to have both, right? The ups and downs, right? The ebbs and the flows. The tide comes in, the tide goes out. You know, life is full of ups and downs, right? You can't have all the ups because, you know, that would just be manic. And you can't have all the downs because then that would be just damn depressing, right? But it's finding a combination of both, I think, in your life, right? Like, that you know that there will be bad times in your life. There have been bad times in your life. But not to dwell on them. Just focus on now. Because otherwise you'll miss all the good stuff, right? Yeah, I know, there's something very interestingly, that perspective for me is just really deep this morning. All right, I'm going to go back to playing some music a little bit. If you want to stay and listen, you can. Or if you have something better to do, I'd say go do that.